Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus A330 pilot, and welcome to another flight of the kind that you really only get to do in those A330 holiday operations. Today we are going to depart from Barbados onto Grenada, which is only about a 35-minute flight in a very light A330-300 aircraft. This flight is part of a rotation of Virgin Atlantic from London Heathrow via Barbados to Grenada and then back via Barbados to London Heathrow. Now, join me in the cockpit as we are about to take over this aircraft from another crew. Now, rotations like these are usually flown in a way that the first crew flies from Heathrow over here, then you have a second crew that flies from here to Grenada and back here to Barbados, and then a third crew flies the airplane back home. Now, some airlines also do these things a little bit differently in that they would fly Heathrow to Barbados and then on to Grenada with the same crew, then have the crew go into their layover over there and then fly back in a two-sector flight as well. Now, in the end it all comes down to hotel contracts and what's cheaper, so chances are that today we are in one of those good airlines that do give us the possibility to enjoy a longer layover over here. Alright, so aircraft has just been taken over from another crew and they left it in a mess. We can see the weather radar is on and a lot of different things, so let's go ahead and clean this up before we get to do anything else. So the engine masters are off, the start selector is in norm, the weather radar should absolutely have been off, and the ground control sensors on with the tilt a little bit upwards. Then the landing gear lever is down, at least that's something, and the wipers are off, the batteries are on, and we are operating on the APU already. So let's go ahead and do the APU fire test nonetheless. We never trust another crew, and that's looking good. Now we'll just keep the radios, we'll keep number 1 where it is for the time being. Number 2 is going to go on 1 to 1.5, as we will need that in any case. Alright, so make sure that we can actually listen to this and listen to this as well, and then number 1 we'll see about that by the time we get there. Now, since the aircraft has already arrived from a long haul, Airbus does absolutely recommend us to do an IRS realignment, so let's just switch it off, wait for 5 seconds and then switch it back on again, so that we can initiate the full alignment process. Alright, from here on we can move on into the electronic flight bag, have a quick look at our flight plan, and then we can decide on the fuel quantity that we want to take. In general, it's very good weather conditions all over at the moment here in the Caribbean. It's winter after all, storm season is over, so now is the absolute best time to go on holidays here. That's represented in the weather. Our departure in Barbados, easterly winds, 28 degrees, scattered clouds. Our arrival in Grenada, some light showers of rain, those happen every now and then, but apart from that, very nice weather conditions, 29 degrees, so even those showers will feel very warm. Our alternate is back here to Barbados, so we don't have to worry about the alternate. We can tell that it is good, I can see that. Alright, so that out of the way, we gotta make a decision on the fuel quantity we want to carry. Now, something that I did not do over here is, normally on a flight like this, it would very likely be planned as a tankering flight. So, if it was, then we'd probably have round about the same amount of trip fuel, plus some taxi fuel on board, so let's say some 5,000 kilos more. And with those 5,000 kilos extra in the tank, let's take 500 extra. So then we're looking at, let's say, 9.2... So 14.2, well, let's make it 15 tons, then we should be more than good to go to fly over and then back without having to refuel the aircraft over there. Alright, so let's go ahead and download our quantity, our payload, and then we take 15,000 kilos of fuel and we can load that instantly. Now, in terms of payload, we have 104 passengers, so Virgin has around 260 seats on their A330-300s. That means around 2/3 of the passengers, a little bit less, disembarked, and the other half is flying on to Grenada. Very well, the last thing we need is our takeoff calculation, and for that we'll just synchronize the charts. Then let's go ahead and also download our charts, which we can prepare down here. So airport charts, and we'll take the AGCs. We'll also have a quick look into the AOIs in a few moments. There is no departure chart over here, it is going to be radar vectored. Alright, so a look into the AGC reveals off runway 09. We can easily take intersection Charlie up there, 2,713 meters. So that's 2713 meters. Alright, we'll synchronize the rest, and for our takeoff weight, we just said we are now at 153.2. Let's calculate 153, then we should be absolutely good to go. So takeoff weight is going to be 153, conf 2, air conditioning off, and calculate. So performance limited weight 233.6, that means we are good to go off this runway, and that's it. Very good. So, last but not least, we can have a quick look into the operational information chart down here, just to see if there is anything specific in there for us, but it doesn't really look like it, does it? Let's see the second side. Okay, contact ground to obtain pushback and or taxi clearance. Noise abatement procedure. So, we are going southbound. Let's climb to 2,000 feet or proceed 3 miles, whichever comes first, and then continue normal climb. Okay, so they probably don't want us to accelerate below that. I guess that's what it's saying on the chart. So yeah, not a problem. Then we'll just do a non-standard noise abatement over here. And you see, that's the kind of idea why we're looking into this. Also, you can see noise abatement procedure, even though that's still on the arrival section, so we can kind of ignore that. The one down here is the important one for us. Okay, perfect. So that's our basic calculations done down there. Then the recall is empty. We have no OEBs, we have nothing relevant in the logbook. The aircraft is in a good shape. Oxygen quantity 1500, hydraulic quantity is good. Let's check the oil quantities. And those are good as well. And then last but not least, since the aircraft has just arrived, we'll also better check the temperature of our brakes. But yeah, looks like they haven't really heated up. Alright, that's fair enough for me. So the flaps are up in agreement, spoil is retracted, then let's go ahead and test our alternate brake system, which works perfectly. And with that, our aircraft is accepted for service. So now we can go into the pre-flight procedure, and this is one of the interesting ones, because we normally do this with passengers on board, because they wouldn't disembark all the guests that are going to fly on to the next flight. So basically, if we are to refuel the aircraft over here, we need to exercise some caution, just in case, you know, something abnormal would happen. That's definitely something that you want to pay some attention to. Alright, well, didn't mean to do this. Let's close that window again. Here we go. Okay, let's check for our weather and see what we've got over there. So, the QNH is 1014. Which we can dial up over here, and it is the 26th of January 25 today. Everything's set up here, everything's set down here. Well then, let's go into the FMS setup. So, FM1, and then we can open our flight plan in SimBrief over here. Oh, interesting. Not signed in. Okay. Well, in that case, we just quickly have to sign in. I'll do that off screen. And then we can already go ahead over here and cross-check A330-300. That is correct. Then we have a current nav database, and we can store any of those previously saved points. Alright. Scratchpad messages are checked, and now we also have our flight plan available over here. Wonderful. Alright, so init flight request. and here we go. From Barbados to Grenada, alternate in Barbados, Virgin 187, Corsair A330, flight level 160 is going to be our cruising level. So for the departure we'll pick runway 09, there are no sits over here, so we'll just leave it at that. And then our arrival is going to be an approach to runway 10. Don't have any stars or anything there, so we'll just insert it like that and that's it. Now let's go ahead with our emergency waypoint, and that's going to be straight ahead to 25 miles, so BGI X1, and that's going to be based on Tango Bravo Papa Bravo runway. Let me get that chart once again so that we get the runway track. So ground chart, here we go, and then runway 09, and that's going to be a track of 091 degrees straight ahead for 25 miles to pick up the holding over there. Alright, so copy the active, and then we have BGI X1. Insert that over here, including a holding with a 1 minute lag time. Thank you. And if we gotta come back immediately, then we will be prepared. So new destination, arrival, ILS Zulu approach 09, and insert. Wonderful. Then we can continue by drawing the same thing visually on our fixed page, like that, and BGI X1 marked over here as well. Perfect. So we don't really need anything on the RadNav page over here. We can insert our departure runway on the progress page, like that, and then we can move right over into the init pages. And looking at our flight's documentation, we have a zero fuel weight of 138.2. Like that, and we don't know our CG just yet. The block fuel is going to be 15 tons, and the average wind component is a headwind of 1 knot. Now moving down to the fuel section, we will have a taxi fuel of half a ton, a reserve fuel also 0.5. Our final reserve is going to be, or rather our alternate is going to be 2.8, and the final reserve 2.1. And with that we got 4.7 tons or 1 hour and 3 minutes extra. That is excellent. Then let's enter our takeoff data, and with that we have then almost completed our procedure. So config 2, 60 degrees, 2 and 60, and then our speeds are going to be 138, 138, 142. Like that. So, thrust reduction and acceleration altitudes. Now, we'll keep the reduction, but the acceleration is going to be in 2000, as that is what the AOI asked us to do. Engine out acceleration is going to be in 1500 above the ground, and last but not least, we'll use a climb 2D rate, and that's our FMS pre-flight completed for the time being. So, moving up to the FCU then. Well, first things first, let's go ahead and recycle those flight directors over here. Then, our QNH is 1014, we'll go under the constraints with the VORs. Initial altitude, we'll see what we're going to get by our traffic control. And that's our setup completed up here. Alright, so we've got 7 minutes until the scheduled pushback time. So I'd say that's a very good time to start our departure briefing once you're ready. And we are departing off Barbados, runway 09, via radar vector departure, climbing initially to, well, 5,000 for the time being. We'll see what ATC is going to give us. MSA in the region, 3,000 keeps us safe, 2,000 would as well, since we're basically going straight out to the open waters. I don't have any threats for this, and the extra fuel is 4.7, which equals an hour flight time. Wonderful. I have no hotspots for the taxi route. Stop margin in case of rejected takeoff is going to be plenty of meters. Engine outset straight at 25 miles to Barbados X1, climbing 3,000. If we need to make an immediate return, we are below the max landing weight, and the ILS Zulu approach runway 09 is entered. We can also make a traffic pattern if we're on fire and if things need to go really, really fast. In terms of special operation, we have the noise abatement today, as they don't want us to accelerate below 2,000 feet, which shall not be a problem. It's entered like that in the FMS. I have nothing non-standard. Do you have any threats for today's departure? No? Okay, beautiful. So that's our briefing complete. Then let's do the cockpit preparation checklist. Gear pits and covers removed. Fuel quantity is 14,960 kilograms balanced. Seatbelts on, ADRs, nav, barrel ref, QNH 1014. Cockpit preparation checklist complete. Perfect. Then, while we're waiting for the load sheet, let's say hello to our passengers. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel, and I would also like to welcome you aboard our Virgin Atlantic Airbus A330-300, continuing our trip towards Grenada. Oh, we did a crew change over here so that the crew who flew you here already can now go to the hotel, catch some sleep, and a fresh crew is now going to bring you over to your final destination. We hope that you are going to enjoy this small trip. Sit back, relax, enjoy the flight with us. We do expect smooth flying conditions, good weather all around, and for the arrival as well. The weather over in Grenada is quite similar to what you're seeing out of the windows over here already. Thank you very much for your attention. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. And once the latest paperwork is complete, we are going to prepare our aircraft for our pushback and engine start within the matter of the next few minutes. Thank you very much for your attention, and once again, welcome aboard. Alright, so that's our passengers now briefed, so let's prepare the position for pushback and departure, please. And while that's ongoing, the load sheet should have arrived, so let's do a quick check. We've got a zero fuel weight of 138.2 with the CG at 25.9. So, slash 25.9 and 138.2 is correct. Takeoff weight 152.7 versus 153.1 gross weight. Yeah, minus the taxi fuel, that is alright. Our takeoff calculations were done at 153, so we are good to keep those calculations, and that's everything completed. Excellent. So, with all those basics out of the way, I'd say we can now get ready for our push. So first things first, let's just make sure that we have the current ATIS, which is 132.725.
ILS and area navigation approach is in use. Expect runway heading on departure. VFR aircraft state direction of flight. All aircraft expect clearance during taxi. Advise ready for push and start on initial contact. Advise on initial contact. You have information echo.
Okay, information echo. Let's just hear the first part of it.
Bradley Adams International Airport ATIS information echo. 2000 Zulu. West 080 at 12. Visibility 10 kilometers or more. 1,800 meters. Temperature 28. 2.23. Altimeter 1014. Landing and departing runway.
Okay, 1014. 09er, we have the rest.
Approach is in use.
That's all I needed. Perfect, then let's go ahead and call for pushback clearance. Adams approach, good afternoon, Virgin 187 Heavy, information, echo requests, pushback and startup.
Virgin 187, don't have a flight plan for you, but engine startup is approved, report ready for push. I'm sorry, reporter staff.
Virgin 187, we're on stand 11, we'll check the flight plan and we are fully ready for the push now.
Roger, Virgin 187, push and start approved, reporter staff.
Push and start approved, runway 09er, call you for taxi, Virgin 187. Okay, so everything going on at the same time, but that shall not be too much of a problem. So we do have our pushback clearance, we'll check the flight plan during the push. And well then, ground from flight deck, go ahead. So, push and start approved, runway 09er, and the parking brake is set. Roger, thanks. Runway 09er, and you can release your parking brake, please. Parking brake released. Thank you. Starting the pushback and stand by for engine start. So before start checklist. Parking brake released. Takeoff speeds and thrust. V1 138, VR 138, V2 142, flex 60. Windows are closed and the beacon is on. Before start checklist complete. Okay, so that would be the moment to ring the company to tell them to check that flight plan. In the real world, they would often not even let you go without a flight plan. Then again, this is the Caribbean, so chances are they will, and then hold you at the runway. But in any case, we are about good to go, so... Okay, flight ground, you're cleared to start engines in sequence. Thank you. 1, then 2. Okay, engine 1 start. Very nice effects over there. That looks really good. And we have a good start on 1, starting 2. Clear 2, and the push is complete. Set your brakes, please. Parking brake is set. So, looks like the pushback was exactly on time at 4-0. Number 2 is starting up. And, well, Virgin 187, we're ready to copy clearance anytime.
Virgin 187, roger, and head to Maurice Bishop via direct Rackham flight plan route. Time flight level 160 for 2735.
Virgin 187 is cleared to destination via direct Rackham, climb flight level 160, flight plan route, squawk 2735.
Virgin 187, read back correct and report for dispatching.
Wilco, Virgin 187. Alright, so lovely GSX window has once again blocked my typing abilities, but nonetheless we'll fix that. So we're cleared via direct to Rackham. We'll fix that once we're in flight, I suppose. Flight level 160, squawk 2735. 2735. Okay, and then quick check in here. Rackham. Okay, so we are going to remove Bravo Golf India and then go direct to Rackham. And I suppose that's probably still going to be with a right-hand turn. But let's just check to be on the safe side here. Yeah, right-hand turn. It would have been strange if we had to overfly the island, but we've got to be sure. Alright, ground. So we have 2 good starts. Clear to disconnect, show them the pin on the right, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. And, well, there she walks. But at least she's holding a pin in the hands, so that's that part. One of those things with those airports where they give you your IFR clearance while you're on the taxi. That kind of brings the entire order into a little bit of disarray, so we always got to be careful that we think about everything on these flights. After start checklist, anti-ice, off, decom status, checked, pitch trim, 26.5%, rudder trim, neutral, after start checklist complete, flight control check, full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, neutral. Virgin 187, request taxi, able Bravo.
Virgin 187, taxi, holding point Bravo, runway 09 via Alpha.
Taxi holding point Bravo, runway 09 via Alpha, Virgin 187. Okay, we can do Charlie if we want to, but we'll have to check how quick the cabin is going to be, otherwise it makes no sense to take the intersection. So, clear on the right hand side, clear on the left hand side. Brake check. Pressure 0. And off we go. So, it's got to be a right-hand turn over here. Straight ahead would already be that runway, but it's rather hard to read all those markings over here. Also note how there's not really that much space over here. I wonder if that 737 is parking correctly there. Probably not, huh? Nope, definitely not. Well. Good thing that we're looking outside. That would have been expensive. That would have been pretty expensive. But yeah, flying on VATSIM, suppose that's what happens occasionally. Likewise, I have no idea how that guy parked the A330 over there, but I suppose I don't want to find out. Okay, so let's go for any revision of the briefing. Can you actually think of anything? I don't. Okay, then. So, transponder is set, weather radar is on, and the cabin is ready as well. Perfect. Don't ask me where that guy's coming from. I'm gonna ignore him. I'll just ignore him. Taxi checklist. Ouch. Flight controls, checked. Flap setting, conv 2, radar and predictive wind shear, on and auto, engine start selector, norm, ECA memo, takeoff, no blue. Taxi checklist, complete. Alright, I suppose if the cabin is ready already, we did calculate for Charlie, then we can request Charlie as well. Saves us a little bit of taxi time. And we're so incredibly light, we don't have to worry about it basically at all anyway. Virgin 187 Heavy, ready for departure, able intersection Charlie.
Virgin 187 Roger, from Charlie, fly runway heading split, takeoff runway 09, wind 00, 1 knot.
From Charlie, flight runway heading, runway 09, cleared for takeoff, Virgin 187. Okay, perfect. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. Now it would be nice to have a second pilot available, so that they could actually do the stuff inside while I'm doing the stuff outside, aka taxiing the aircraft. So that's runway 09 via Charlie, and that's confirmed. Lineup checklist. Takeoff runway 09 Charlie,
Approaching
TCAS, CARA, PAX 1 and 2. Off, lineup checklist complete. So the right is clear, the left is clear. We're cleared for takeoff. Are you ready for rolling? Yes? Perfect. Takeoff.
On runway 09.
Intentionally. Manflex 60, SS runway, auto thrust blue. Thrust set. .100 knots, checked. rotate. Typical, very light A330, it shoots up into the sky. I love it. Positive climb. Gear up. Full heading. Heading. Thrust decline to auto thrust. Okay, pack 1 coming on.
Virgin 187, is not now hit.
Virgin 187 passing 2,200. Pack 2 on.
Roger, proceed direct to Raqqa and climb flight level 160.
Virgin 187, climb flight level 160 and in a right turn direct to Raqqa. Okay, flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. And flaps 0. Speed checked. Flaps 0. Now let's quickly do the direct to Raqqa. Here we go. Okay, nav.
Grenada approach, very good afternoon.
Climb.
Arriving at flight level 250. We have information echo on board.
Set standard. Standard, cross-check, passing, flight level 33. Now, checked.
Thank you very much. Continue descent 3,000 feet and we'll be expecting ILS for runway, runway 09 or Kingfisher 2.
Okay, let's update the direct for once. Raqqa, here we go. And that's looking excellent. Now this on the other hand side is not looking excellent, having the sun right in the face. But yeah, suppose that is something we can live with for now. So, time to do the beautiful things, aka having a look at this. Someone recently asked if I could do a couple more outside shots. Well, I hope you like this. Those are dedicated to you, my friend. This actually looks pretty amazing, doesn't it? Really, really good.
705,
So, still got to do a little bit of hand flying though. It's incredible how quickly the A330 can climb, even with climb D-rate 2, right? I just really love this aircraft. Now, if we took that climb D-rate out, the thing would shoot up into the sky. But that's exactly the reason why we have the D-rate in the first place. So, quick look outside to find our top of descent, which is located, well, some 100 miles ahead. But it's probably gonna be a little bit earlier, because I do plan to fly the visual approach over there. So, for that we've got to be down a little bit earlier than what the FMS is predicting right now, but we'll correct that once we're actually up at cruise level. And we're passing level 100. Alright, heights off, signs off. We don't need the constraints any longer, even though we basically don't need anything else either. Clear and copy, please. And nothing in here. And that one's copied. Disregard that. The optimum should have been recalculated based on our length of the flight. So in the real world, it would tell us something about level, 140, 160-ish, and we could just take that straight away without even having to think about it. But yeah, in the simulation, it seems it needs a little bit more attention than that. It doesn't seem to take the length of the flight into consideration for the time being, but That's something that I have already reported to iniBuilds to update anyway. So 0.1 miles to the left it says. Let's correct that. Rakan, track 262. So just a slight right-hand turn. And that's it. Now something that I really love on flights like these is just to do the entire thing manually. Not having to worry about the autopilot and stuff because you only need it in upper airspace. In lower airspace you can do all hand flying, and indeed that's something that I do all the time on flights like these. There are a couple of short sectors that my airline is doing as well, and I normally hand fly them all because, let's be honest over here, how often do you actually get the chance to do that when you're flying long haul? Not too often, so any minute of hand flying experience that you can get is the minute of hand flying experience that I will take. Approaching, that means we have 1 minute to go to our cleared level, and then pull vertical speed to 2000 please. Speed vertical speed. I'll bring it into level flight, and once we are there, then I will start to prepare for the visual approach on runway, I think it's 10 over at Grenada. Come on airplane, you can do 2000 feet a minute. Of course it starts to get turbulent now that we've just released our passenger. Okay, vertical speed of 1000.
Caribbean 201 Roger, turn left heading 210. I'm sorry, heading 110.
And 1000 to go.
Heading 110, Caribbean 201.
Okay, I tell you what, this is getting too turbulent. Seatbelts on. They'll have to live with it. At this moment I do a quick call to our cabin just to tell them that these seatbelts are actually for turbulence and not because of an earlier estimated time of arrival. Okay, quick check down here. Tango Golf Papa Yankee is our destination. There is no ATIS online for that one, so we've got to see if we do have ATC over there or not, but I do think we will. Okay, approaching the level off. All crew star. Standard rule of thumb. Take your vertical speed, divide by 10, and that's the feet prior to your altitude at which you want to reduce your vertical speed. So we did 900 feet a minute over there, therefore 90 feet prior to our level off I started to gently push forward on the stick. In the sim it's a little bit more effective than in the real world. In the real world you can really get the aircraft leveled off very nicely like that. Alright, all cruise. And with that we are at our cruising level, so let's quickly run over into the flight plan. Have a quick look down there, and we've got Golf November Delta, which is the field VOR. Now we want to be in 1500 above the field over there, so let's do /1500.
Caribbean 201, we're able to echo leader.
Like that, and then check destination data. We'll do. So let's refresh that. 14012 light showers of rain scattered 2029 QNH 1013. So we can pre-select that like this. So let's make sure we also have that speed restriction in over at Golf November Delta. So I want 1,500 feet and 150 knots. Well, let's give it 200 knots. That should make for a nice pattern speed. Something like that. Okay, so that's the approach entered. Then we have the RadNav page. We need our destination, Tango Golf Papa Yankee runway 10. On the progress page, And then for the performance, descent at 0.79 or 290 is okay. Then QNH 1013. The temperature is 29 degrees and the winds 140 at 12.
Turbines 201 at
Like that. We are going to do a config 3 approach, and we need no minimum since we are operating, since we are going to fly visual approach. And then for the go around, all we need here is our acceleration altitude, which is 1520. And that's it. 5.7 extra, giving us an hour and 17. Secondary copy active, and that's it. Now, will you please maintain your altitude? The real one is doing quite a better job than this at maintaining the altitude. You basically set it and forget it. Because it corrects turbulence quite a bit better than the simulated one does. But okay. Here we are. Very good. Then let's take a quick look at
Virgin 187 contact your corridor 123.7.
Virgin 187, 123.7. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Let's just make sure that we're actually in flight level 160 before calling ATC, otherwise it might look a little strange on their radars, provided they even have one, which you can never be absolutely sure in the Caribbean. Piaco radar, good afternoon, Virgin 187 Heavy, flight level 160, position Rakan.
Virgin 187 Heavy, Piaco radar, good afternoon.
Alright, perfect. Virgin 187, for your planning, we will request the visual approach runway 10 in Grenada.
Virgin 187, be able to check that visual approach runway 10 into Grenada.
Like that, he doesn't need to start searching for a procedure now, which we're not gonna fly anyway. Makes his life easier and also our life easier.
1639, thank you.
Alright then, so we just wanted to get out the charts.
Increase land runway 04.
Runway 4, clear land at 1639.
So we need Tango Golf Papa Yankee, Point Salines International. Charts. Let's see what we've got available. Man, aircraft, what are you doing? Why are you descending all the time? So we do have an airport chart and we have an AOI. Let's start on the AOI there. So arrival, max 250 below level 100 and runway 10 right hand circuit. Okay, we want to do that anyway. I don't want to circle over the island. Would look superb, but the number of returning holiday makers would probably reduce quickly. Okay, so runway restriction, 180 degree turns for aircraft above 45 tons at turning pads only. Arriving aircraft will be allocated a gate number from tower or ground. Warnings, high terrain north through east. Birds in vicinity, especially 2 hours before sunset and during grass cutting. No VFR at night. Well, yeah. 2 hours before sunset, we are slowly getting into that direction. So birds are a possibility today. Alright, but that's everything we need up there. Then let's also, just for the sake of it, pin the RNAV approach runway 10, because that one has a little bit of useful information on it, such as the MSA. So, they say circling altitude 700 feet. Nonetheless, we are going to do 1500.
When ready, descend, flight level 055.
Virgin 187 Heavy, when ready, descend flight level 055. Okay, flight level 55 blue. I gotta admit, this is a little bit hard now to actually maintain flight level 160 with the altitude buck already pre-selected, but we have the flight director, which kind of reminds us that we shouldn't descend yet, so that works into our favor. Okay, so MSA38, and with that we basically have everything the way we need it. Okay, are you ready for the briefing? Then let's go for it. Okay, it's going to be a visual approach onto runway 09er. There is no star involved, the MSA is 3,800 feet, and since it's visual we don't have any minimums. Go around is going to be, well, discussed with air traffic control. We'll actually have to discuss it, but we'll do that a little later in the approach, and not with the en route controller, of course. And extra fuel is an hour 17 minutes. Perfect, so manually flown approach, flight director's off, bird on, and landing config 3, stop margin, well, is plenty. We'll keep the auto brake off, maximum reverse, so that the brakes stay cool for the return trip, and we'll have to do a 180 probably right at the end of the runway. Let's quickly have a look at the ground chart over here, so that we have an idea. So 2,733 meters, 180 over there at the turn pad, and then we come back somewhere over here onto the apron. I don't have any hotspots, and in terms of special operations, we are flying a traffic pattern. That means, beam the field, we want to be in config 1. Around 2.5 to 3 nautical miles to the left of the field, so on the minimum range, we want to have the runway right at the inner marker or just outside of it. Airplane, what are you doing? Maintain that flight level, man. Wow.
JetBlue 1639, welcome to St. Vincent, backtrack runway 04 to
okay, so where did I stop?
Backtrack 4, Charlie, and thank you.
Basically, we want our aircraft to be able to be on the downwind, and on the right-hand side, we'll find the field 1,500 feet. That means 45 seconds onto the downwind, and then we start our base turn. 10 seconds prior to the base turn, flaps 2, gear down, and on the base turn, flaps 3, then turn onto the final, nice and established. And that's it then. Any questions on the procedure? No? Perfect. So that's about it. Okay, threats for the arrival, most certainly the terrain. Unfortunately, terrain display is still in-op in our aircraft, so it's good visibilities, so we are just gonna have a look outside. Any questions? Anything to add? No? Perfect, so that's it. You have controls. Dear guests from the flight deck, once again, your captain speaking. We will start our descent to our destination in a few moments, remaining flight time now about 15 minutes. The weather at our destination currently 29 degrees, some light rain showers in the area, but that is typical for the Caribbean weather around this time of the year. And those will move through rather quickly and only give some very warm water as well. And after all, the water is why you are here, isn't it? In the name of Virgin Atlantic, we'd like to say goodbye to you now. Hope that you have enjoyed your flight as much as we did. We look forward to welcoming you again on board of a future flight, and in the meantime, wish you lovely holidays and an unforgettable time. Thank you very much for your attention, and after some relaxing weeks, we hope to see you again soon. Alright, TCAS below, weather radar down below. Let's see if we can actually make anything out yet. No, looks pretty clear. That's good. Alright then, let's start our descent. Descent alt, flight level 552.
Depart Lexus heading 230.
Virgin 187 departing Lexus heading 230, and we are leaving flight level 160 now.
Roger.
Thrust descent. Okay, heading 230 after Lexus. That is a rather significant left-hand turn, but okay. We basically have the field in sight over there already. It's right on the tip of the island over there. So let's just go down here for a moment. Just to have something in the box there with that heading. That's probably the best reminder you can get. Well, okay, we see the field, so Virgin 187, the runway is in sight already.
Virgin 187, roger, cleared visual approach, runway 10, and I'll have the QNH with you in just 1 sec.
Cleared visual approach, runway 10, Virgin 187. Excellent, so altitude down to 1500.
Grenada QNH 1013.
QNH 1013, jump, Virgin 187. Okay, so QNH. QNH 1013, cross-check, passing 13.4 now. Seatbelts are already on. We did tell the passengers 15 minutes to landing, that counts for the cabin crew as well. And then flight directors off, bird on. Well, perfect, what else could you ask for? So we're cleared for the visual, that means we gotta remain outside of any of those clouds over here. So let's make a slight left-hand turn around the island, and then the field is located just over there.
58, roger, I'll have lower feature shortly.
Well, and that's about everything we need to fly this. Do you guys get why I always say that I love flying in the Caribbean so much? It's just such a cool operation here.
Sorry about that, my mute was it.
600 readability was a 5, but I couldn't understand it.
We start to read those guys a little bit harder on the radio as well, because we are now getting pretty low and Piaco is a pretty large center, so they could have traffic at any of those other Caribbean islands over here, and we basically wouldn't know about it.
187 Heavy, report established final approach course.
Virgin 187, Wilco. Okay, we shall absolutely do that.
French West at 06 off Lima. Welcome to Fort de France. If able, you can vacate left onto Bravo, taxi to parking, stand at your choice. Have a great day.
Bravo to park, French West 06 off Lima, thanks. Bye-bye.
Alright, so our speed should reduce now. Well, that was a little bit late. It should have done that a couple hundred feet above level 100. But I tell you what, who needs auto thrust anyway? So, manual thrust. And manual everything. Just a quick check, the runway track is 104. So then, direct to destination, radial in. Let's see what the runway track is. 104, that means the opposite is 284. Like that. Alright, and insert.
Caribbean 600, you are clear.
So, select the 250.
International Airport via present position. Direct.
Now we just got to ensure that we actually get the aircraft down to 1500 by the time we're on the downwind.
Fly runway heading up to 4100. Departure runway 10, squawk 6021.
Okay, still have the sun right in our face, so we are going to keep that sunshade for the time being. Might need a little bit of speed brake here. Let's do half. So,
Caribbean 600, readback is correct.
the airport is located right over here.
Information Charlie is correct.
We'll fly around the island, giving our guests a lovely view of the island, and then we'll start the visual approach right over here. That's what we call active noise abatement. Have a look at this. Just beautiful, isn't it? Okay, getting a bit fast here. Let's go full speed brake.
Radar copies passing keyboard, descend altitude 2,500 and TGAT QNH 1017, report final approach course by Amali, cleared RNAV runway 07.
Okay, gotta ensure that we keep a little bit of distance from the shore, so that we don't piss off any holiday makers.
At all stations, PRCO radar closing in approximately 5 minutes.
Alright, so it's gonna be a quick traffic pattern then. So it looks like if we do the right hand turn over here, we have more or less exactly the 2.5 miles that we want for our base. A little bit of tailwind over here as well, 18 knots, so we can subtract half of that from our... We can subtract half of that from our downwind time, so subtracting, well, around about 9 seconds.
Caribbean 600, push and start.
Alright, manage speed.
On Zulu, face south.
Let me keep the 270 track. I don't want to descend too steeply now. Let's do 1,000 feet a minute, activate approach phase.
08013 knots, clear to land, runway 07.
And I think that's going to be a pretty good downwind. Okay, there's our field. Now, we got to get rid of those sunshades over here. Did I forget to turn on the landing lights? Alright, they're on now. So that's our field over there. The aircraft is slowly coming back to green dot. Flaps 1. Speed checked. And approach checklist, please. So, barrel ref, QNH 1013. Seatbelts on, minimums none. Auto brake off, engine start selector norm. Approach checklist complete.
Air France 75, what approach would you like into PRCO this evening?
Okay, so speed brake's coming back in. We're slowing down nicely. Let's go into the downwind track. The runway is exactly 3 miles off.
What approach would you like?
And there's the threshold. Let's reset our timer so that we have it available for the downwind timing. Okay, so
Air France 75,
as she can see a little bit better, but I'd say we're about to beam the threshold now. Starting the chrono.
Expect LS in case 175 heavy.
45 seconds. And at 35 we are going to extend the flaps and continue our approach preparation. Let's make sure that we return to the correct downwind track over here. Like that. Okay, so 35 seconds, flaps 2. Speed checked. Okay, 3, 2, 1, downwind. Gear down. Flap 3. Okay, set go around altitude. I'll make that 3,000 over here. And just ensure that the cabin is seated, which they are now. Landing checklist, ECAM memo, landing no blue. Landing checklist, complete. Alright, there's our runway. The puppy's showing 3 whites. Virgin 187 Heavy, just confirm in case of a go-around we climb runway heading 3000. Okay, we're on the puppies now.
7 heavy, yes.
And turning final.
Go around. It's going to be runway heading up to 2000, actually.
Runway heading 2000, and we are turning final now, Virgin 187. Okay, a little bit early. It's fairly hard to see anything here. And that bird is actually wrong down there.
And Virgin 187 heavy. The Grenada winds 110 at 12 knots, clear to land. Runway
Approaching 10.
Runway 10, clear to land, Virgin 187 heavy.
Seabird 2158 heavy, welcome to Antigua. Left turn onto Delta.
Okay, so that is looking very good. Getting a tiny bit high on profile, correcting for that. Too bad that our bird seems inoperative here. So, ground speed 133 means we need 700 feet a minute rate of descent. That is okay. A little bit right of center line, correcting that.
France 75 heavy, unfortunately I'm going to be closing up here in a couple minutes. So surveyors are terminated, and for your arrival into Robinson you can monitor CTAP.
Spoilers, reverse green, decel.
Roger that, CTAP from 118, symbol 4 of Transform 75 heavy, Mrs. School. Have a wonderful day and see you the next time.
See you next time.
1,200 meters remaining.
In a couple minutes, you can monitor CTAF for your departure. 118.1.
70 knots.
900 remaining.
Alright, we gotta roll all the way to the end. And then make the 180 over there.
600 remaining.
The real one is a little bit tighter on the controls. That makes it a bit easier to control. You could see how I had a little bit of directional control problems there. That was also because I recently introduced a small dead zone on my joystick, which kind of bit me right now.
To Grenada. Backtrack runway 10 to vacate on Alpha. Stand of your choice, and you can monitor CTAF on 117.1. Have a good day.
Virgin 187 heavy, backtrack, vacate via Alpha 118.7. Thank you very much. A wonderful day. Okay, so before we do anything of that,
radar now closed.
Let's make the 180.
Frequencies for any coordination.
Looks like it needs both engines to stay taxiing here. We are losing a little bit too much speed. But here we go. Looking wonderful.
On runway 28.
And that is fully intentionally. Alright. .29 degrees, but nonetheless, I'm gonna keep the flaps in 1. Just for the sake of it. You never know if it might be a little bit warmer on the tarmac or something the likes. So we want to be on the safe side here, don't we? Let's start the APU. And after landing checklist. Radar and predictive wind shear off. After landing checklist complete. So we set vacate via Alpha. There is really only one taxiway, and then it's either stand 4, 5 or 3. Let's see if GSX says that any of those are free. Number 5 is free. Perfect. So number 5 is ours. Come on, menu bar is blocking me. Strobe lights off. Then the APU is almost available. Stand number 5 is the one slightly to the right, if I'm not mistaken. No, slightly to the left. Interesting, then we could also have taken number 4. Which is actually my preferred stand, so... Looks like the wing walkers are in place over there as well, aren't they? Well, I don't care. Change parking facility, number 4. So that's better. Okay, lights off. And the APU is available. Shutdown number 2. Okay, can anyone see our marshaller? Surely I can't. Well, and that probably means we gotta park ourselves. But yeah, there's the whole trot line on the adjacent stand, so we just taxi a little bit past that. Oh, there is a marshaller inside the terminal building. That's a good place to be. Okay, I don't care. Can't see him anymore. We'll stay right here. Cabin crew, all doors in park. So, number 1 is running down. Alright, parking checklist please. Park and brake our trucks. Brake set. Engines. Off. Fuel pumps. Off. Parking checklist complete. Well, my friends, and with that, welcome! I do hope that you are all going to have a lovely holiday, and I'm very much looking forward to see you all again on the next one on our way back home. In the meantime, though, thank you very much for flying along. I hope you enjoyed the flight. As always, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you for watching, and I see you all again on the next one.